episode of Raw. I guess it's the Raw before the Go Home show at Saudi. I'm not gonna actually lie, that snuck all the way up on me, even though they keep telling me all the time that it's like, oh, just a week away, or it's just next weekend, or whatever they want to say. It sneaks up on me the whole time. Anyway, um, a weird Raw. I was like, a lot of interesting stuff, I will say. Promos was kind of like, man, really wasn't much being said there. The wrestling, for the most part, was either entertaining or really good. Depending on, I guess, however you want to really look at it. Um, but let's do with the whole thing. Everybody now can, I guess, calm down that Jay Uso didn't beat Gunther, because I guess that was the whole thing after Jay Uso beat Ilya, that everybody had an uproar that, guess what? Hey, he didn't beat your main guy. He didn't beat your savior, whatever you want to say. He lost to him. Now, I still maybe, I mean, I like the way it ended, where Gunther basically worked him over and passed him out pretty much. I'm fine with that. I like that in general. I I know it's a way, and that's why, and people might get mad that it kept Jay safe while giving Gunther the win, and it's kind of like not a clean win, 1, 2, 3. But I always think that it's like, yes, I do think it sort of keeps them safe, because it's like you with the tough man route where you just pass out and you don't tap or get to give up a pin. But I think that it makes, to me, I think you look stronger passing somebody out than 1, 2, 3 in them. I mean, think about it. If he's over here just like, he can't go no more. You basically took that dude's soul. So why, I was like, we'll see, but I just expect this how everybody's gonna act. I don't want to be surprised about it. But I was like, the king queen of the ring matches have been really great. I was like, only maybe like two of them haven't been up to snuff, but every one of them had delivered in some form or facet. Um, but I was like, just to do a quick rundown. Sammy, I was like, I'm not gonna do nearly the promo, because I was like, a lot of talking was just kind of like to me. Sami Zayn coming out, yeah, he was he. I'm actually glad that when Gable came out, he actually referenced to that. He's like, "Oh, you're talking about this heart and soul and stuff like that." And I was like, "I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't fully into it either. I was just sort of listening to it, but I understand." But I'm like, thank God, Gable, with you over here being like, "Oh, you would," because I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like let's be honest, outside of a couple, it's really hard to do that kind of baby face. I was like, I feel like Cody's in that realm, Sam is in that realm of like the pure baby face kind of thing. Jay's not pure baby face. He's a baby face, but he's not like that. Um, but and I was like, I also sort of heard like people sort of like, and with the whole Gable and Alpha Academy stuff, I was like, I've liked it. If you sort of hit a crowd, they're over here telling that Gable really sucks, and Otis has sort of gotten almost like how he was when he won Money in the Bank, where you can. I was like, now granted, I was like, this is the one crowd, so we'll hear how it keeps on proceeding, but he was getting over. He had signs and stuff too, so but he berates his people again. He didn't say nothing really mean. Like that's what I will say about the Chad Gable thing, is that I wish it don't have to be scathing, because you can only go so far. But it gotta be better than just being like, look at these clowns I'm training. I'm like when he first started saying stuff, I was like, oh, okay, cool, we could get mean here. And he hadn't really got mean. He just sort of just yelling, and people don't really like yelling, or not even yelling. I was like, kind of like, to me, he not even saying nothing bad, but hey, whatever. He treating them bad. We could tell that part. Um, but yeah, he berates them. Sammy's like, whatever. We have a match. Let's have a match. So they have a match, and it was cool to I was like to see the dynamic they were having where like he would get the ref distracted and have each one of his people trying to do something. Maxine, she couldn't do it. Then Akira Tozawa's turn, he couldn't do it. So Chad is basically like, you know what, y'all are useless, get out of here. Then it's just Otis, and Otis wouldn't do it, so he's mad. And then Sammy was about to win the match. Otis basically clotheslined him into the corner and allowed Chad to get the win. Didn't really last too long because later on we see that uh, Otis apologized for doing that, which Otis got slapped again today, had it hard. And Chad is kind of why would you do that? He's like, oh, mind tricks. And I was like, that's a good way to flip it. Well, not at the same time. We'll see if anything happens in Saudi. I was like, I mean, he's gonna be there, but we'll see if he does anything or don't do anything. Yeah, and how that really goes. I actually don't know how that match is gonna go in that aspect. But and he was talking to the Creed brothers, and I expect that he probably is trying to recruit them in some form or manner. Then I was like, then later on we got Braun Breaker, and I thought this was really good, and the rest of the night. So he comes out, everybody's ready for him. Which I was like, I will say that with like Ilya, Braun, Lakiria, and that I don't know if they're because I was like the people are responding a lot better to a lot of these NXT people, and I'm like, is that because the W universe now knows more about the NXT compared to back in the day, or is it just the support of being like, oh, new person, we're gonna cheer and get behind them, even though people like Braun and like Mello sort of been around like a pretty long time. But anyway, neither here nor there right now. But anyway, Braun comes out. It's a guy that they say is like level up and NXT level up or whatever. And you hear Braun just like he's like mad that he's like basically you give me the squash man. And I ain't gonna lie, I would also too that I'm like, man, you gonna give him a squash match? Like at least like I mean, I'm not saying you give him somebody like a Cedric Alexander, but where it's gonna be a little bit of a fight. Also, has anybody seen Dragon Lee? Man, they're really playing that up. Anyway, so he's so mad that he basically just right through the dude, spear, throwed him outside the ring, runs around the ramp, spears him again. And then at that point, he just really sort of going ballistic. He threw him in the ring. He can't compete. And Braun just spears him again. Then he tried to hit him with the ring steps. Everybody like, no, don't. But then his head is in the middle of the steps, and he gets a chair, and he just lays him out. Put the dude on the stretcher, take him to the back. Braun basically confronts Adam like, you can't control me. And later on, we see Ricochet talking to Ilya, being like, hey, because Ilya was over here giving praise to Jay and Gunther, and Ricochet like, nah, whatever, I don't care. Me and you, we got something, we should be doing this again, blah, blah. And then out of nowhere, you just hear, and Ricochet pushes Ilya out the way, and Braun just levels Ricochet into some crazy. And I'm here for this kind of Braun, I'm here for this. You like I like that they especially because like other people also claim around. It's like, what are you gonna do with Braun Breaker? You're not doing anything with him. We're tired of these squash matches and all this other stuff. So it's cool that they're using that at a story that he's also mad that he's not being put in anything. He's not being featured. He's not being prominent. They're still just babying him and whatnot, and he's just taking it out. And I am totally here for if he would just do like I don't remember when, but I was like how Stone Cold would basically just stomp in a mud hole and stunner and people for like a whole like I think a night of Raw or whatever. And I was like, if Braun just every week it's just taking out people just because I'm here of just being like that. Like it almost made me think of, speaking of Braun, when he was all in his monster stick of just on a rampage and stuff. And I'm like, Braun can totally do that won't even be looked at as really like as a heel. He'd just be looked at a monster as a force. I'm totally down with that. Um, but we did get a great EO versus Valkyria match where I did not think that Valkyria was going to win. I thought EO was going to get the win. Um, and maybe they're doing a whole thing with maybe them controlling and losing and stuff too. But basically by towards the end of the match, it was like a series of reversal where it's just like reversing. I was like submissions. I was like reverse like nobody. I was like reversing and I was like, and they were doing some hard strikes too, like where it was just kicks and stomps. Um, but no, it was a really great match. They gave it a hell of a lot of time, which like normally they may not do. But I was like, what with these two, you can sort of do it because they're that like Valkyrie had already shown that she's able to hang with the big dogs. I guess no pun intended. Well, I'm not talking. Anyway, she could do that, so it's not like a Maxine Dupree or Ivy Niles or something like that. Um, but yeah, no, Valkyria picks up the win. I was like, I couldn't tell if I think Io was the one bleeding from the nose. Uh, I think, but I was like, it didn't get too bloody, but it got bloody, but not nothing that like the commentator didn't even say nothing about it. So Valkyria moved to the next round, and we'll see who she faced between Bianca and Nia Jax. Either way, I think it's coming from SmackDown. Well, they haven't let Nia win anything either. So, oh man, Valkyria facing Nia after that being a whole thing with Becky. Anyway, um, we I was like, so before we have the men's tag team match, I was like, Carlito was back there with uh, Judgment Day, basically like, hey, you need to earn your keep. Finn's over here sad because he's like, I wish it was us too, but you're a champ now, so whatever. Uh, I think Carlito's gonna not be as funny as R-Truth, but be a little funny character in a sense back there with them. Um, yeah, so I was like, basically, Judgment Day got numbers. Miz is weary of that, and R-Truth was like, don't worry, I got Andre the Giant. Well, during the match, I was like, as everybody getting involved and stuff like that, and Carlito comes out to help Judgment Day, while the Miz, also Truth is over here losing. We did see who the Giant was. It just happened to be Braun Strowman. He came out, left even odds, let the Awesome Truth win, which nobody. I was like, I thought that Judgment Day might just so they could say they got all the titles for a little bit of time, but no, they're gonna give Awesome Truth still more of a run. Um, but yeah, no, I was like fun match because I was like R-Truth and Miz. I was like they could do good stuff, um, but it's of course not on the level of the other matches. Um, yeah, so that was fine. The promo, I was like, should have had a better way. I feel like to do something with their match coming up, but Becky Lynch and Liv, I don't know if it's because it's so quick that she's getting this or what. It just doesn't have something. It doesn't have. And I was like, don't get me wrong. I was like, Becky. It depends. Sometimes with her promo, I was like she got the passion and stuff behind it, but I was like, sometimes she's not really saying too much. And I was like, there wasn't really nothing for her to really do because I do put a little bit of this blame on Liv because I was like outside of telling the crowd that y'all only can keep saying what because you got your or you only can I was like you basically you got your head up so far Becky ass. Now other than that there wasn't anything that she was saying that was captivating. She repeated a couple of times or whatever. Like to me, I was like, if there was ever a time, this would be the time where I was like, okay, I can sort of get the people who don't really vibe with Liv or whatever. I like Liv. I think she's improved in the ring a lot. I like a lot of her move sets and stuff like that. But her promos are man, and there is something that's just And it's crazy because I like Becky alluded to in the promo that it's kind of like, oh, you've been here for like 10 years and you just now finding out what your purpose is or what you want to do or what you are. And I was sort of surprised at that because I was like, that seemed like a real dig in a way that kind of seemed like, I mean, I feel like if somebody else might have said it, might feel like a little bit not bearing, but you're not bigging up your opponent in a way. You're sort of putting them down in like a real way. That's kind of you ain't got no character, you ain't got no substance, you ain't got nothing. But anyway, yeah, the promo was just like and then they're gonna have a match, and also I was like, I think Becky gonna have to retain just because I'm just like, she's right. She said after you win the title, what's after that? You just your revenge tour, and all Liv could say is I'll just sit at the top in my place at the champion. It's like, okay, that's really not anything either. Then I was like New Day, and they have talked to Karrion Kross, and he's just basically like there's always a good time to have time, or until time's up or something like that. And I was like, I was like, okay, New Day back, and Cross, he's here. Scarlett, sure, all right. Then we had a women's tag team fatal 4-way match. It was the rest of them in control with Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai. I was like, I was gonna say King Coda, and I was like, that's not her name here. Ivy Niles, Maxine Dupree, and Santa Baszler, Zoe Starks, and the Party Girls. Now, they said that the Party Girls were like the longest reigning women's tag team, and I was like, is that true? I could have swore there was somebody else that had it for a pretty long time. It wasn't them. But anyway, I was like, fun match. Had some spots. I was like, it was they might as well just had it. It really just turned into a tornado tag because there was really just chaos, and it was weird when there was tags after the chaos. It was just like, well, what's the point of doing that? I was like, first of all, I was like, it's sort of weird. I was like, Damage Control just got bloodied again because I was like, Kai had blood all up on her face. I was like, Zoe Stark is Shayna 1, which I think is a pretty good matchup for Jade and Bianca. I was like, because Maxine and Ivy Niles, no. I was like, the Party Girls is like, let's be honest. Damage Control just lost, so you can't have them really go up against the tag team people. So it has to be Shayna and Zoe, somebody more viable to face off. But when you look at the rest of the women, it's kind of like, what do you do? Because it's like I said, like the Party Girls, we don't really believe that they're going to be able to take on them two superhuman women over there. I like, at least Shayna and Zoe got like the badass tough girl gimmick that is like, okay, you know. I like Sonya Deville came back, had a proposition. We'll see what that is later. We see them in the background, but it was cool. I was like, at first I thought it was Raquel, but I was like, we ain't seen Raquel since Elimination Chamber. I don't know if she's still dealing with her stuff or not, but yeah, Sonya Deville comes back, so that'll be cool to see how that was. Cause cause they could do a little trio faction or whatever like that, or if she's still trying to do her manipulating, not GM, but kind of in a way type of stuff. We'll see how that goes. I was like, Ludwig Kaiser setting up stuff with Sheamus. Drew McIntyre had like a little 3-minute little promo where he basically like, I'm here, but I don't know what I'm doing here, so I might as well show my face. Yeah, and then pretty much after that we had Jay and Gunther, and I was like, they always put on really good matches. I was like, this is the third time, right? I mean, I was like, I know it's at least two, but yeah, so yeah, it's at least two because I feel like they would have said another. They would have talked about the other match with 3. Anyway, I was like, Gunther's really good at finding different ways of once he has an exposed limb of sorts that he got different ways of like doing damage to it. I also like that his character is a little different because if you like, he has used some body part and just demolished that body part. It was legs for 2 weeks in a row. Now it's the arm. We'll see what he does when he with his next challenge. But uh, I mean, he still does the same good stuff. But I was like, but it's like this phase is attacking a certain limb than just beating the hell out of you. Don't get me wrong, he's beating the hell out of Jay. Jay was getting slapped so hard his tattoos started turning colors. That's how bad it was. But uh yeah, I was like, Jay would have little spurts of energy, but not enough because, his arm is being worked over the whole time and he's just getting chopped like hell. And I do also think this was funny. People that say that Jay got a limited moveset, which he does. He don't have a big moveset. It's like spear, the little punches where he's like, the kicks, splash, yeah. But he also going against another guy who has a limited moveset. It's like Gunther, but it's like chops, drop kick, power bomb, splash. I was like it's just the way he used them because I'm like he used the hell out of chops like hell. I'm like one time I was like 2 times Jay was in the corner to getting chopped like hell, but it's how he was like when he uses like the power bomb is like the ender. The splash is like trying to be an ender, but it's never the ender. The drop kick and stuff like that. Like he got like 7 moves, like how Jay sort of got like 5. It just depends on when you use them. But like I said, I do think the ending, especially going off the air, choking Jay out, is yes, it's a good way to save Jay, but it also makes Gunther strong and keeps him going. And y'all can shut up, pretty much. Uh, but yeah, I was like, because it's the king and queen in the ring, those matches was really good to set up whatever happens in the finals. Just because that was the Liv Becky thing. No, not. I'm not saying the match won't be good. I think the match will be good. It's just gonna be. Um, and the tag team stuff, it was fun. It gets you through 3 hours. So yeah, it was okay Raw. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad. It was just good. That's all I'll say. Okay, somewhere in there. I don't know what up between okay and good. Oh, good. Good. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see how this all goes, especially SmackDown, and then I guess the pay per view. Until then, peace. I'm out.